Blog Talk Radio.
Thank you for joining us for Live Paranormal Radio. From the paranormal to the unexplained, it all happens here. It all happens here. Looking to enhance your radio experience? Participate in our live video chat 24/7 with our Live Paranormal Radio show hosts and other like-minded people. LiveParanormal.com, the only interactive social chat room supported by Full Interaction Media. Stop by now and join the fun. Stop by now and join the fun.
The views expressed here within the programs and chats do not necessarily represent the views of LiveParanormal.com.
You're listening to Live Paranormal Radio at liveparanormal.com. You are listening to Shriekfest Radio.
Good evening and welcome to Shriekfest Radio. This is Denise Gossett, the festival founder and director, and your hostess. So, let's see. Shriekfest is a horror, thriller, sci-fi, fantasy film festival, screenplay competition, and we even have a music video category. And we're currently celebrating our 17th year. And by celebrating our 17th year, we have added the East Coast to Shriekfest. So, yes, you heard that right. We have Shriekfest LA, October 5th through the 8th, and Shriekfest Orlando, October 21st. So, passes will be going on sale here soon. Make sure you get your passes or your tickets. If you don't have a project you're submitting this year, make sure you come down, check out the films. There's going to be amazing films and fabulous parties. The LA festival will be 4 days, and we open with a huge party, and then, of course, screenings all weekend and Q&As, and end with an award show and another party. And the Florida event will have screenings all day and then end with a party. So it's going to be lots and lots of fun. Our website is shriekfest.com. Get your submissions in. July 1st is the next cutoff, and then July 10th is the final cutoff. So get them in. You're running out of time. It's already June 22nd, guys. Hurry, hurry, hurry. It's going to be here before you know it. Yes, so, and like I said, if you don't have a project that you're submitting this year, come check it out. It's a great place to network, see the best in independent horror and sci-fi, and just make some new friends. Every year people collaborate at Shriekfest. I think that's my favorite part about it all is people meeting each other and then starting their own projects. It's all very exciting. And, of course, I will be there, and I would love to meet all of you, so please come down, check it out. Let's see. So I already gave you those dates. June 30th, we have teamed up with New Art Theater in Los Angeles, and we are going to bring you for the 25th anniversary. It might be 35th. Anyway, Poltergeist. We're screening in 35mm Poltergeist at New Art at midnight on June 30th. Get your tickets. You can find them on the New Art site or the Facebook event page. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have giveaways and some surprises. So come down and check out an amazing horror film that really needs to be in the scene in the theater to appreciate. And then we're going to have some more Shriekfest Presents projects coming up, and once I can announce, I will. Let's see, what else? I already said the cutoff dates. I got the website. Okay, the call-in number tonight, if you have a question for myself or my guests, is 347-202-0316, 342-0316. Very excited. I have a couple of guests tonight. I have director Seve Shilens and his writer-producer Lisa DeVita from 2016's horror feature film, Peelers, played Shriekfest last year. Super excited to have them on. We'll be chatting with them in a little bit. So let's see. If you're submitting, you can submit through Film Freeway, without a box, or just email it to us and pay with PayPal, or you can still send in the mail, whichever you prefer. But like I said, you have till July 1st and then July 10th. If you're trying to finish up your project and it's not quite done in time for July 10th, shoot us an email. Often we can accommodate. Let's see, we have a monthly newsletter you can sign up for on our website. We're on Twitter and Facebook. Come give us a follow and a like. We would appreciate that. And let's see, are there any other announcements I need to be making? Oh, yes, the commercial contest. Every year we do a Shriekfest commercial contest, and the only rules are it has to be under a minute, has to mention Shriekfest in its current year, so it's 17th year this year, and just get creative, and the best one will play at the festival. So it's great exposure, and then after the festival, of course, we're going to be posting it all over the place. It'll be on our website, our YouTube channel, Shriekfest TV, and you'll get all kinds of exposure from that as well. So get those projects in. They're really fun. We get such amazing commercials submitted. I just love watching them all. And let's see, the call-in number again tonight is 347-202-0316, 347-202-0316. And if you guys are shy and would rather not be on the air, you can always tweet to @Shriekfest or send me an email, shriekfest@AOL.com, and we will get your questions answered. Okay, I'm not seeing my guest in my queue. I know they're both in Canada, which I believe is at the same time zone as us. Let me just shoot them a message here real quick and see what is going on. All right. So we'll see what happens here. Anyway, in the meantime, let's talk about some goals. You know how I'm a big pusher of the goals and, your dreams and how we don't want to have any regrets. And I know it's frustrating because this past week I had a very frustrating day. I started really worrying about why hadn't I accomplished more. And that is only a horrible downward spiral because you start getting in your head and you start doubting yourself and all this stuff. And when you guys hit moments like that in your life, because you will, I mean, it's a crazy industry, you need to sit down right then and there and write out everything you've accomplished in the past 3 years. And you will shock yourself. And then it will help pull you out. And if you sit down and you write it out and you don't shock yourself, okay, then it's time for a new game plan. Because what have you been doing? Are you just sitting back waiting for an agent to call? Are you waiting for things to happen to you? Because it doesn't work that way. We have to actually go out and get some of this stuff. But it looks like I may have my guest on the line, so let's introduce them again. I'm so excited to have Seve Shilens and Lisa DeVita on Shriekfest Radio. Welcome to the show, guys. How are you? Is this Seve or Lisa? Hello? Okay, that wasn't my callers. I'm not sure what's going on here. Seve? Lisa? Seve and Lisa, can you hear me? Nope, that's not them yet. All right. Oh, wait. We got somebody here. Hold on. I think we might have a couple. Seve and Lisa, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Lisa DeVito.
Lisa,
here.
hi. Are you there, Seve?
Hi.
How are you? Lisa, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. How are you doing, Denise?
I am doing great. It's great to hear your voice. Is Seve there as well?
Yeah.
I'm not hearing him. Do you hear him?
No, I just hear you.
Huh. Well, I see a number on here like he's trying to be here, but maybe he'll call back in here. So I'm super excited to have you guys on the show. It's been a while. I know we've kind of emailed a little bit since the festival, but we haven't spoken or anything. And you guys got some great news coming up here. I really want to get him on the show so that he doesn't miss all this.
Yeah.
So let's kind of stall for a minute. Right. Let's stall for a minute here. I think maybe he's trying to get back in, but I don't know what's going on. So did you have a good day?
That Canadian connection.
Right. Did you have a good day?
Yeah, pretty good. It's finally stopped raining here in good old Vancouver, so we've got some sun, which is nice. I'm sure it's not. Are you in LA?
Yes.
Oh, it's nice there?
Yeah, it is. Hot. All right, I think we have him on.
Okay.
Seve, are you there?
I'm here. Can you hear me?
Hello. Yay. We got it.
I can hear you too.
Yay.
Awesome. We're set. A little bit of a delay in this, but I think we're good.
Yeah, no, this is all good. You know, it wouldn't be technology if there wasn't some sort of glitch, right?
Exactly.
Absolutely, yes. Where would be the fun
in that? As you guys know. Yeah, you guys know. You're filmmakers. You've been on sets. There's always some sort of glitch. Okay, I'm super excited to have you guys on the show. I've already explained to the listeners that you guys are, writer, producer, and director of Peelers, which we're going to chat about. But first, I want to ask you guys a few questions. First, Seve, and then you, Lisa. I want to know, how did you guys get into this industry? Because, none of us are really born into it, so to speak. So when did the bug bite you guys?
Well, for me, I picked up a VHS camera, that might show my age, when I was young, that I asked my parents actually to buy me. And so they went out and bought this big clunky camera, and I made little videos with my friends and my family, and I made everyone suffer through it. I gave them all these different characters and different roles for little short films I was making. And it sort of bit me then, the film bug. And I remember being in high school, and I was getting to a point where we had to make a decision as to what we were going to study in life, what university we were going to go to. And my guidance counselor was hounding me, and I avoided him at all costs because I didn't want to get a traditional job, until he finally found me and said to me, there are jobs in the film industry. And, my eyes lit up, and I said, oh, my God, really? So we looked into universities to study film. I went to York University in Toronto. I took a 4-year program there. So that was in Toronto. I studied there and then left there, went to Vancouver, and I've been here ever since. I got into the film industry sort of in a low-level job, if you want to call it. I was basically dubbing materials. And there was an edit suite off to the side, and I said, I really like editing, and I sort of self-taught editing through Avid, because when I went to school, there was linear systems, and now they're non-linear, so I sort of taught myself. And after that, I said, you know what, I got to write a feature film, and I went ahead and made one and then another, and that's the most recent one. So that's how the bug bit me.
Oh, my gosh. Now, I have to ask, do you have any of these films you made when you were young?
I have copies of the films on VHS tape that I have not looked at in probably 15, 20 years. And I don't know if I'll ever look at those tapes. No.
Yes, you have to. You know why? Because I have a weird feeling you're going to watch them and something's going to spark for your next project.
Oh, you think that's going to happen? Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Great idea.
Hey,
well,
you don't
or maybe
know.
I can take the footage from it and use it.
Exactly. Your younger self may have known something that you're not remembering today.
Good point. Well, if I can find the tapes
possible,
and brush off the dust, I'll put them in and look at them.
Okay, and then please let me know, how are they?
Oh, for sure. I'll let you know. All right.
Okay. All right, Lisa, you're up.
I was when I was a kid, I was always creating, writing. I always had to have a play going on. Every weekend we had a big gathering at my place in the backyard. There always were productions going on. I was always I was always writing. And I remember in school, I remember in grade 6, I wrote my first play. It was a Christmas play. It was called Don't Panic, Mrs. Claus, and it was about Rudolph, and he couldn't fly one Christmas, and it was about him. We all, came together to make him, the elves came together to make him a set of wings. And anyway, so I was always, writing and creating and making plays. And it didn't clue into me to, take this to, same thing with like Seve, take it into a career with it. It just was something I was always doing. And then I went to university, I got my degree, my Bachelor of Arts in English, and as they call it, a BA is a bugger all, because I didn't want to leave university and go into teaching. I thought, I don't want to really be a teacher. What can I do with this? And with a degree in English. And it didn't dawn on me until I took some extra courses outside of university. One was a copywriting course, and one was a screenwriting course, because I thought I really, I was always enjoyed writing my essays. I always got good marks on my essays, so I thought let's dabble in other areas of writing. And took the copywriting course, and it was pretty neat. It was very creative, but it was not enough of a storytelling element there. There was somewhat of it, but you just do your toilet paper ad and you're done kind of thing. And I just thought, And then I took the screenwriting course, and I just absolutely fell in love with it. And I thought, wow, it just opened a whole new world to me. And I thought, here we go. It sort of merged my love and passion of creating and writing and plays, and then there's actually a career path you can take with this. And I was sold, and I never looked back. I instantly enrolled in the Vancouver Film School and for the writing for television and film program. And ever since then, I didn't look back, and that was my my dormant love and passion was there. It got awoken from this endeavor, and and then I started writing screenplays. And same thing, I sort of thought, well, if I want to be in the film industry, you have to get yourself into the film industry. So I sort of applied for entry-level positions like post-production coordinator and research assistant, those types of jobs. And I got in and sort of worked my way through there, and that's how I met Seve. Actually, he was an editor on a show that I was working on, and he found out that I was a writer as well, and I found out he was an aspiring filmmaker, and we got along really well. We had the same sort of wacky sense of humor, and and then he said, hey, we want to write a film and work together. And I said, absolutely, sounds great. And that's how we sort of came together that way. So, yeah.
Wow. And I love that it all started with a little Christmas play that you wrote in school.
Yeah. That's right.
I can't believe they let you do it, actually.
It was really fun. My teacher... Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's amazing, really.
Yeah, no, my teacher was very encouraging. I got really lucky in grade 5. I had a teacher who was this very, very just eccentric actor, and she was fantastic. Every Friday we would have we'd have little classes of improvisation. So she would sort of harness our skills in improvisation and acting, and and I just loved these classes, and I thought, this teacher's fantastic. You didn't really get acting classes in the elementary school level just yet, and she just encouraged that kind of creativity, and I loved it. And so we were sort of working on on different plays, and she really encouraged me to keep writing, and obviously she helped me along with the plotting, I'm sure, and but it was amazing how the students came together for the acting roles, and the parents came together because we had to build a set of wings for Rudolph so we could show that he was flying, and it was amazing, like the costumes, and it became such a great project that brought everyone together, the students and the parents, and then the big production at the end for the Christmas play. It was awesome.
Wow. And at the age of 12 to have that's really pretty cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun, and like I said, always put on plays on the weekends and my mom and dad always looked forward to it. We'd set up the lawn chairs in the backyard, and everybody came together to see what kind of production was going to be put on this weekend, and so it was really nice to be in a very encouraging environment. My parents were very encouraging that way. They thought, okay, we've got a child that really likes to do lots of different things, and let's encourage that, and it really helped me to flourish that way and see it as something that is anyone can do. Anyone can write and create, so it was nice to have that kind of upbringing.
I love it. I love it when parents are supportive like that. It's so nice.
Yeah, it's very, very helpful.
Yeah, because think of how many out there where the parents are like, no, you're going to be a doctor, or no, you're going to be this, and then that person's miserable their whole life.
Exactly. Yeah, I definitely would have been miserable if I had to take my degree and become a teacher, or not saying anything against teachers. It's great to be a teacher, but just not for me just yet. I need a bit more life and experience to be a decent teacher, I think, but maybe one day.
Seve, I have a question for you. When you moved to Vancouver, you didn't drive there. You did what?
I got on a bicycle and biked across. I pulled a Pee Wee Herman and tried to bike across Canada.
Wow.
It was actually a friend of mine and myself. We graduated university at York University in Toronto, and we said we just want to get out of town. So we thought, well, let's do that, but sort of do it as a holiday thing. And instead of going to Europe, which a lot of people do when university ends, we said this will be our European trip. So yeah, we just got ready about a month before university ended. We just did some biking around to get in shape. We were not in any real shape by no means. We got on the bike. We thought we could do it. 2 days in, we were dying. But about a week in, we were fine. We were totally conditioned by that point, and we got to meet a lot of interesting people, see a lot of interesting sights. We had sun most of the way. A couple of rainstorms were in the middle of the prairies that we got caught, and there was nothing around to sort of hide under from the rain. But I had a great time. And then when we got here, the funny thing is, we thought, why don't we keep going? And we thought about going down to L.A., heading south. But at that point, we were out of money. And so we said, no, we need to get a job. And we were both in the film industry, or at least graduated from film school. So we both ended up getting jobs. And then my friend, his name was Jamie, he ended up moving back to Toronto. And I stuck it out in Vancouver, and here I am today.
Wow. And for the listeners out there, that's 2,800 miles. Do you know how many people can't even bike 1 mile? Seriously.
Let's preach about exercise here. People, you need to get out and exercise more. Bike a mile a day at least.
You're right, exactly. 2,800 miles. Now, did your bike ever break down?
My bike did very well. As a matter of fact, I still have the same bike today to get around, to do things. I don't bike as much as I used to. The trip was great, but, I got a car after that to get to work. My friend's bike, he broke down at least 3 times. He had some problem with his the tube and the inner rim, and it kept blowing his tire. And I remember at one point he got very frustrated with his bike, and he was ready to pitch his bike into the middle of the highway. But no, we made it. A lot of duct tape helped in that situation.
Oh, my God.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah.
I bet it was
How
crazy.
long did it take
I just can't
you?
imagine.
In total, it took us 7.5 weeks.
Whoa!
Holy crap!
Yeah, because we stopped at certain cities along the way just to meet people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, would you like say, okay, we're going to go 20 miles today. Like, did you have set goals, or did you just get up and ride till you couldn't take it anymore?
No, we did have set goals. We had a map the same way if you're driving a car. Yeah, we had a map, and we looked at it and said, well, what's the next city that's probably within, I'd say, 50 to 75-mile radius, and that would be our goal to get to every day. And we tried to not make it bigger cities because, coming out of university, we didn't have a lot of money, so we had camping gear. So we tried to camp just on the outskirts of small towns, sort of, behind some trees and some bushes. Because if we ended up in a big city, we'd have to obviously rent a room, get a motel room, and
how'd you lug all this stuff?
On the bike. You just have the side, I think they're called panniers, I believe they're called.
Oh, my God.
Basically, they're like saddlebags. You have them in the front and the back. And, we just brought our necessities, which is a sleeping bag and a tent, and not much more, really.
Food, water?
You would buy food along the way because you wouldn't want to carry it.
Right.
You would also bring, 2 or 3 changes of clothes, and you would stop somewhere to do laundry once in a while for sure.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Well, this explains why you're so skinny to this day. You're still working off all that calorie burning from that trip.
That's right.
Well, not only that, Seve, is there anything that you look at and think, that just sounds too difficult? I mean, after riding that long, nothing has got to be a challenge.
I look forward to challenges, absolutely. I've had a lot of things happen in my life where you would think, I don't know how that person could have survived from that. And I have a philosophy of life, and, just keep smiling, just keep being happy. Positive vibes brings more positive vibes. So that's kind of what I do. And, it was a great experience. Could I do it again? Absolutely, I could do it again. I was just talking about it the other day. With Lisa in terms of just biking, because I don't think it's an age thing. I think when you get on that bike and you just start biking, you realize it really isn't as hard as you think it is. You just keep your legs moving, and you just get in shape by doing it 2 or 3 times, and then away you go. You just have to push yourself, and it's great. It's so much fun.
We talked about doing the trip from here to LA, actually, so. And that
really?
way, when we get to LA, anybody who tells us, "Oh no, we're not interested," it won't even faze us because we're like, "Dude, we just biked from Vancouver to LA. We can take anything. Rejection, it doesn't matter. We're set."
Yep.
So we have talked about doing that, which would be awesome.
Well, and Lisa, from what I understand, you can raise money along the way by playing poker.
That's right. I haven't played in a little while, but I do love it. And when I was living in Vegas, that's sort of how I was able to feed myself every once in a while playing some poker. And I fell in love with the game. I got introduced to it from a friend, and I just instantly, just like screenwriting, instantly took to it, loved it, and just from living there, I just played as much as possible, and got to a point where I could play and either break even or make a profit, and rarely lost at the tables. You have to know when to walk away, and I was pretty disciplined, and I just love the game. So I would definitely fall to my poker skills to provide any extra funding we needed for sure. Should have done that for the film
too. You two are a great team. I love it. I just love it.
We try to think outside the box in terms of funding or just coming up with we rarely take no for an answer, and that's how you have to do it if you're a filmmaker. You can't take no for an answer. You just got to find another way to do it. That's all.
Yeah, I love it. All right, so you guys have had some amazing full lives. Like you said, you've taken on all these challenges, and so then you're working on sets. You start doing. Seve, you've edited tons of things.
Yeah, I've been working in the industry for a while. I prefer post-production to production. Production is a lot of running around, a lot of heavy lifting. You've got to make the day. and it can get quite stressful. Post-production, I found you got to sit in a little room, sometimes with or without a client, with no windows most of the time, and just concentrate with a headset on, and away you go. And I love watching the same footage over and over and over again and making it as best as it can be, which is completely opposite of what Lisa does. She will go crazy on that. She's got a little more OCD. She'd rather stick to the writing than looking at the same footage over and over again, which is why it's funny I'm more in the editing department. She's in the writing. But I worked in a lot of projects because I wanted to get a lot of experience before I made my first film, and money. I needed to raise money. So I worked on a lot of projects, and I worked in the editing field. I did some editing, but most of my paid work is actually as a colorist. And I don't know if your listeners know what a colorist does, but if you have a film or a commercial or a TV show, and once it's actually edited and finished and locked, then you take that, and I have to balance all the colors between all the shots. What you see on the screen is not how it was shot. When you have a bigger feature film, typically the DP, or director of photography, will have things worked out fairly well. But when you're working on maybe like a reality show, it's run and gun. They're just shooting stuff left and right, and they're inside a house and outside. And I mean, lighting changes. When you're outside, that's called daylight, and when you're inside, it ain't daylight. So you got different color balances going on. So I sort of started doing that just to improve some shots when I was editing, and someone said, hey, why don't you take a shot at coloring my show? So I did that, and then coloring this and coloring that. So it snowballed, and I've been doing a lot of that to pay the bills to make the films that we make. So it's fun. Again, get to sit in a room alone a lot of the time, and then the client comes in at the end, and we get to watch the film, and they get to say, wow, this looks amazing, because they've been sitting in another room during the offline editing where all the low-resolution, uncolor-corrected stuff is. So it's quite satisfying to hear them see a product and love it at the very end.
Wow. I noticed on IMDb that you worked on Santa Buddies. I only bring it up because my daughter loves that movie.
Yeah, it's funny. Everybody brings it up. You know why they bring it up? Because I've made 2 horror films as a writer/director. I made Skew, which is our first horror film, which is found footage, anticipation, psychological horror. Then I've gone on to make Peelers, which is a stripper horror film.
Right.
And everyone wants to say, well, you made 2 horror films and you made Santa Buddies. And I think it's quite funny because my job on Santa Buddies was in the editing department. I had no creative say other than to sort of be a grunt on that film. But I got to meet the people behind it, and I learned from that experience. And yeah, it was amazing watching how to make a talking dog film and looking at the raw material of the dog sort of nodding and looking around, and trainers off to the side telling them, do this, do that, Fido, and then move your mouth. They obviously don't move their mouth, but they nod their head, and then the visual effect adds in the moving of the mouth. So, yeah, and it's a sweet, cute little film. I mean, it all stems from I think Air Bud was the original one, and then they sort of snowballed. So, yeah, it was fun. It's fun too, and I don't have one specific genre that I love. I love them all. I mean, that's family. There's horror. I grew up with comedy. That was sort of my thing, and I know that Lisa's big into comedy as well. So. Yeah, it's I love it all.
Cool. All right, guys. So how did we come about to Peelers? It's such a great movie. Okay.
I will do a little intro on that, and then I will let Lisa take over. So when we finished our first film called Skew, it was a found footage film, as I mentioned. It did really well in the festival circuit. We got into over 50 festivals. It did really well in distribution around the world. Had a bit of a buzz. And when I finished that, my sales agent said to me, hey, what are you working on next? And again, as I mentioned, comedy is my thing. I said to him, look, I've got a comedy that I'm working on, a couple of drama pieces I'm working on. And he's like, no, do another horror. And I said, well, why? He goes, because it was so successful, do another one. I'm like, okay, well, I'm just curious to know what sells. Not that I'm going to make something that sells, but it would certainly help when I'm writing it up. And he says, well, you need more blood. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I get that. And he goes, well, you need more nudity. And I said, well, I'm okay with the nudity. I don't have a problem with the nudity, but it needs to be in a situation where it applies. And I thought, well, where's that going to be? A strip club. So I thought that's a perfect place to put it. And at the time, there really wasn't a lot of strip club horror films. There was Dusk to Dawn, and there's a few others that I actually hadn't seen. And I thought, well, why don't we make it better? Why don't we make a strip club film that no one's expecting to see? Why don't we have it so the main protagonist is a female, and she's not the victim. The girls aren't victims. They're actually the ones that fight back and kick butt.
Right.
So I wanted to have a strong female protagonist set in a strip club who was smart. And so then I approached Lisa with this idea, and her eyes lit up, and I'll let her take over from there.
I love it.
So I had, before I had met Seve, after film school, I had moved to Vegas, and I lived there for about 3-4 years, just working on short films and sort of, working on my writing, and that was sort of my segue into the film industry. Things didn't work out, and not anything to do with the fact that I was there illegally, but anyway, I had to come back to Canada, and I was back in Canada, and again, back to figuring out how to advance my career in the film industry, and got into those, as I mentioned, entry-level jobs with different film studios, and where I met Seve. And when he approached me, I told him I had been living in Las Vegas, so I had a lot of experience with the seedier side of life, if you would like to call it that. But one event that really stood out in my life was I had actually been to a strip club, and I was there on my own, and just was enjoying a beverage or 2 or 3, and I was a little inebriated, and a fight broke out between 2 patrons, 2 men.
Wow.
I had no association with them whatsoever. I guess they were fighting over a stripper, a lady of the night, and it went from a yelling match to a full-on brawl, fist fight, and just absolute hell broke loose. Things were flying, and I actually got hit by some flying debris. I can't really remember. I was a little inebriated, so I did get. I think it was a beer bottle hit me in the face.
Oh my
and
God.
then a gentleman that was sitting near me grabbed me to get me out of the way, and in so doing, he pulled me down and actually bashed my chin on a tabletop. So I split my chin open, and so here we are cowering underneath the table, waiting for everything to calm down, and I just remember looking around, and all the strippers had disappeared, because obviously protect the strippers, so get them out of there right away. So they just disappeared. It was just the men fighting, and eventually all the bouncers, they took control. It got out of control pretty quick, but they took control back pretty quickly as well. And I just remember sitting there cowering, thinking, where did all the strippers go? And I thought, wouldn't it be fantastic if they all came back here and kicked everyone's ass, and they took control, and they said, you can't do that. And I thought it'd be great. And that was the thinking process I came to when Seve approached me with the idea. And I thought, yeah, let's have these girls kick ass, and these girls are in charge, and they're the ones that run the show. So I thought, and that was sort of the inspiration for Peelers, and I ran with it. Seve said, do what you want with it, and as I wrote, I would give him a scene to look at, and when my first draft came back, Seve came back to me and said, okay, we don't have a $20 million budget. You need to rewrite because I had some pretty over-the-top kills, and, and that's the thing, when you first write your first draft, you want to have no filter. You just want to put all your ideas out there. And then it's great to have Seve, because he's done a film already, and he's a great editor, producer, storyteller. He would come back and say, okay, you need to either tone this scene down, we don't have the budget to do this, or try and write it this way. And he was a great collaborator in that sense. So he let me run with it, but also reined me in a little bit too, in terms of budget and and what we could do.
Wow. There's a lot going on, and it's great action scenes, and the girls are tough, and I love that, because there's not a lot of horror strippers, but we see strippers in TV and movies and everything, and and they always have the big guys protecting them, and so it was very refreshing to see these women who can handle their own, especially because I'm a second-degree black belt, so I like seeing that sort of thing. Yeah,
that's awesome.
So and
I actually saw some footage of you kicking a couple of cement slabs.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
That's fantastic. Good
Two
for
cement
you,
blocks. Thank you.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a ninja. I wanted to be a ninja my whole life. I had posters of Chuck Norris and Sho Kosugi all over my room, so kudos. Good for you.
Oh, my God. You still can, Lisa. You still can be a ninja.
Oh, I will. Don't worry. That's absolutely. That's on my list of things to do.
She thinks she is a ninja. Don't say anything.
Watch out. She's going to get that black belt. She can come after you, Seve.
I know. I don't know what's going to happen. I have to be very quiet at night, because she might sneak in the dark and get me.
All right. So did you guys have trouble casting all of these? First of all, they're all hot. They're all great actors. They're all tough. Was it hard to track down an entire cast of that?
For the cast, it was an interesting casting process because in our first film, as I mentioned before, Skew, it was hard to get people to come out. We were having a big boom in Vancouver in terms of films and television shows here, so trying to get people to audition was very hard. Plus, it was the first film, so people didn't know me, didn't know anything about me, and so it was very hard to cast. We had to put ads everywhere, and we got all ranges of actors. As a matter of fact, the three sort of main actors in the film were probably, they had to be. They were the best three actors we had come in audition, and the slope sort of went really steep after that. It was very hard to find really good actors. But for Peelers, it was just the opposite. Surprisingly, I thought, okay, well, we're doing a stripper horror film. We'll probably get a lot of guys coming out, but probably not a lot of girls. I mean, no one knows the script ahead of time. They don't know that we, quote, flipped the script. We wanted to have, as mentioned, a female protagonist to kick butt. So, but we were surprised how many people came out, and I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that we had already done one feature. They researched me, and they saw that I'm on IMDb and got a lot of credits under the belt, and I'm reputable, right? So they came in, and we had a lot of people audition, and we had a lot to select from. Probably the hardest character that we had to cast would have been Blue Jean, our main protagonist.
Yeah.
We just did not find the right girl for that. It took us a while to find her. A lot of the girls that came in were reading for the other parts, and we kept looking at them going, could that be Blue Jean? And it didn't really work out until finally a beautiful and amazingly talented Ren Walker came in. She is Blue Jean. She came in, she read for the role. We had a callback. She read for it again, and when we called her, she was over the moon. She thought that she would get maybe the part of the cop in the film, which is just a small part. When we told her that, no, you're the main actress in it, she was over the moon. And she was great to work with. She physically got into shape. As an actor, she was totally prepared on set. She's in 90% of the film, so she was there all the time, and she was great to work with. Yeah, solid. And everyone else, too, loved it. As a matter of fact, a little bit of a story here. When we were on set, before we got to set, obviously, I had to have a talk with all the girls and say, look, there's nudity in it. I want to make sure you're comfortable. We're going to have a set that's closed off. I made sure I had a lot of other women working on the set as well. Our DP, her name was Lindsay. I wanted the girls to be comfortable with it and know that the film, even though it's set in a strip club and there's nudity, it's not about that. It's about the story. It's about the characters. But you can't make a stripper horror film without nudity, and you have to be comfortable with it if you're acting on stage and doing a strip number. So each of them, they got confident with it, and they were comfortable. And on set, they were great. And one character in it, our character's name is Licorice. She doesn't do a nude scene in it. She actually came to me, the actress, and said, I want to do a nude scene now. While we were shooting.
You're kidding.
Because she was seeing how much fun all the other girls were having. And it was so funny. I'm like, no, we're not rewriting a scene just to have you appear naked in the film. It doesn't fit your character. It doesn't fit the storyline at all. But it was so funny that everyone was that comfortable and that friendly with each other on set.
Wow. Now, were any of these girls strippers?
No, we did. Yeah, I know. That's a very good question because we debated about whether we should get strippers who could act or actors who were comfortable stripping. And I think we knew right away, like, trying to find strippers that could act, that's like just finding a regular person that could act, so it's like, no, let them come in if they're real actors. And we definitely went that road for sure, yeah.
Yeah, probably smart. And how long did you guys shoot?
We shot for, I think it was 16 days in total. Yeah,
Oh.
16 days. We had a couple pickup days in there as well. Now, did we lose Lisa? Is she there? Can we hear her?
Lisa,
I
you
don't think
here?
She's there. No,
Lisa?
it sounds like she might have got it cut off. That's weird.
Wait a minute. Lisa,
Hello?
are you there?
Hello.
Oh, that's really weird. It looked like the software like muted you. All right, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys. Yeah, sorry, I was trying to say something and I thought they can't hear me. Okay.
We're ignoring her.
Can you hear me now?
Don't say anything, Seve.
Yeah.
Sorry, Lisa. I don't know what happened. That was weird.
No problem. No, I think my phone my phone kicked me off. I had to call back, and so I was just waiting so I could hear you guys. And then I thought, I'm not on yet. But okay, now I'm here. But I was just going to follow up to Seve's story. Was funny enough. All the girls were actors, not strippers, but we needed, for one of the scenes where Ren Walker, playing Blue Jean, she has a scene where she has to ride a motorbike, and the motorbike we got was huge, and she didn't have her motorcycle license, so she couldn't ride it, so we needed to bring in a stunt double to play the part where she would ride on the motorbike. And funny enough, a woman answered our ad, and we put the ad on Craigslist, and we got a woman who responded, and she was almost a spitting image of Ren Walker. She had dark hair, she was in shade, and she could ride this bike like a pro. And turns out, her job, she was a stripper.
Oh my God!
What are the chances of that? And we asked her, do you act by any chance? And no, she doesn't have any acting experience, but loved being on set, loved riding that bike, and looked exactly like Ren. And we couldn't believe what a coincidence. She was a stripper for her day job or night job, as you want to.
And did she tell you guys, okay, you guys are doing this all wrong?
Thankfully, no. She approved of mostly everything. I'm sure the storyline, when she figured out, I thought it was a little bit wacky, but she approved of the stripping and the bike riding, so that was good. So
perfect. Can you imagine? She comes in, she's like, no, that's not how it's done.
Yeah, this is wrong. Would not have been good.
Schooling us, yeah.
Okay, so anything like horrible happen where you're on set and either like weather or some equipment didn't work, anything crazy, and how did you solve the problem?
Well, I'll take that one. Probably one of the weirdest things that happened on set is we have a combination of special effects and visual effects. We try to go as special effects heavy as we could, and for your listeners, special effects being physical effects, visual effects being typically what's done on a computer after the fact. We had both supervisors on set. Our visual effects supervisor had stepped away to get something at the local convenience store, and his shot for some visual effects was coming up soon. So he stepped away, and his name is Jesse, and we said, okay, Jesse, we're ready for you now. We got on the walkie-talkies. Jesse, let's get Jesse in here. Nothing. He didn't show up. Where's Jesse? Where's Jesse? We need to do this visual effects shot. Well, we couldn't find him. He wasn't nowhere to be found. So we said, okay, well, let's move on. I talked to the first AD and said, okay, well, let's skip that shot, come back to it until we find out where the heck Jesse is. Turns out Jesse was at the local convenience store, pulled out some money from a bank machine there, went up to pay for something, and the guy said, hey, this is counterfeit money. And he's like, what? So he held him there until the cops showed up. And the cops said, where'd you get this money? You handing out counterfeit money. And he's like, no, I got it from the bank machine here. So they had to call up the security camera to look at the footage. It proved that he pulled money out in the store. And the whole time he's like, I've got to be on set right now. And, of course, these are cops. We don't care. So eventually he came back, and we got to his shot. But it's funny that we almost lost Jesse to the cops for counterfeit money.
You know what? I bet you no other filmmaker ever before has that story. That is crazy.
Yeah.
I think every filmmaker has a story that's probably so unsimilar to everybody else. There's always something that's so weird that happens on set that you're like, I've never heard that before. So, yeah, that's definitely our story for sure. Yeah.
And we have you guys have some amazing news. Do you want to tell it?
Yeah.
Go for it.
July 4th? July 4th?
Oh, Okay, I'll do it. July 4th is our DVD and Blu-ray release in the USA.
Woo-hoo!
So for Peelers. Yes.
And July...
July 11th is the release of Peelers on VOD, Video On Demand in Canada. So July 4th is perfect because Independence Day, independent film, it's perfect.
Yes. Yes,
so our Blu-ray and DVD comes out in the States. Yeah, I thought that was very, very convenient.
Yes. And, okay, so do you guys have a website? Where can people find you?
Okay,
well,
I'll
Facebook,
chime
Twitter?
in here. Yeah, we've got all that. Our main website is www.peelersthefilm.com, and then of course you got the Facebook under Peelers the Film, Twitter under Peelers the Film. You can check out our IMDb. We have a YouTube channel as well, but that really only has our 2 trailers we have on there. But if you are interested in the film, and we are presently on VOD as well in the States. We came out at the end of March, so you can find it on Amazon as well right now. But one of the great things about the Blu-ray and the DVD that's coming out on Independence Day is that we have a bloody bucket load of extra features. It is incredible what we have on there. On the DVD, we have about 45 minutes of extra features.
Wow.
On the Blu-ray, we have an additional 30 minutes. We have something called Behind the Scenes. We have something called Getting Ahead, which talks about a certain character and his head and special effects we did with it. We have a gag reel, deleted scenes. We have not 1 but 2 commentary tracks on there. We have a festival, a little intro video. We have a digital comic book that you can access. I mean, we've got so much stuff on there that if you're into
fully loaded
horror films with traditional special effects, lots of blood, lots of action, you will love this. And on it, you'll have a lot of interviews with the amazing Lisa DeVita, who is the screenwriter and producer of the film. And, what better thing than that? You want to watch her all day, Tommy. It's incredible.
Right, sure.
Oh, it sounds great. You guys, I can't believe you have that much extra stuff because, people often buy DVDs and Blu-rays for that stuff.
And exactly. That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to give something to the fans who support our film, and we thought we really wanted them to, because everyone's been asking us, when does the DVD come out? When does the Blu-ray come out? So we really wanted to give them full bang for their buck and give them a special thanks for supporting us and give them tons of extra features because we know horror fans just eat that stuff up and love it and appreciate it. So we wanted to give that to them, and we're really excited to deliver that.
Nice. Well, I am super excited, and keep me posted because I will retweet anything you guys send my way. I'm so happy to promote. For
sure.
What would be, this is a question to both of you, so what advice would you give someone who is ready or thinks they're ready to make their first feature film?
I'll take that first. For me, and I'm boring on Lisa's side here, is the script. The script is the most important thing ever. It's more important than anything else. You can get away with certain things on a film, but you can never get away with a bad script. So if you're just learning and you're going to make your first film, and I recommend you make a short film first to learn and to make all your mistakes. Your first film is not going to be good. Probably, I hope it's great, but that's where you make all your mistakes and you learn. And you let other people who have made films read your screenplay and give you some advice and take the advice. Not everybody is right, but listen to what they have to say. And then make that first short film and then come out of it and go, wow, this is what I've learned, and then move on to the next one. Only make so many short films before you're ready to make your feature, but make your mistakes on your first or second short film and then move on and just go for it. Never give up. That's very important. But, the screenplay is number one for sure.
Nice. Lisa?
Yeah, I was just going to follow up with Seve. The script is, what I've learned is people will forgive bad effects. They'll forgive cheesy acting, but they won't forgive your story. So make sure that script is great. And but the advice I've learned from Seve too, and just what I've learned from working in the film, is to further to Seve's last statement: never give up. And no matter how many doors will get closed in your face, no matter how many no's you get, because you will get hundreds. You will get hundreds of doors slammed in your face. You will get hundreds of no's. There's always that one yes that'll come through. And I really, really believe that when you start making a film and you start creating and you're bringing people together who are with you, honestly, there's something about the powers in the universe that conspire together to help you, because so many things happen that just, and it's because you're working hard and you're not giving up that's why these powers come together and you actually get things done. But that's why you can never, ever give up. So, and I know I've talked to so many filmmakers who they've gone through, they've shot their main scenes, and then they give up, and I'm like, where's your film? How's it coming? Are you editing? Oh no, it's sitting on a drive somewhere, and they just gave up and didn't see it through, and that's the hardest thing to do. I know it is, and this has been 3, 4, 5 years in the making, this film, and we're still working on it, still promoting it, still getting it out there, and it's hard to every day come to the table and say, okay, today we're gonna get that distributor today, but you can't give up. So that's the one thing I would tell filmmakers: never give up. And yes, the script, the most important thing.
Yeah, I'm really glad you guys said that, because I think a lot of people think, oh, okay, today I'm deciding I'm gonna make my film and it will be done by the end of this year. And they don't realize that, you're giving your life, your blood, your sweat, your tears for, a good 5 years.
That's right. Yeah.
It's a
big commitment.
Different type of life. If you're going to get into filmmaking, especially independent filmmaking, this is your life. Do you want to buy a house or do you want to make a film? That's kind of how it goes. I mean, you may luck in and your film might, do awesome, and then you make money from it and go and buy your house. But you got to make a decision, and what happens is, 1, 2, 3 months, even a year in, you're like, oh, I've had enough. Well, then you shouldn't have made a film in the first place, because as Lisa says, it can be anywhere from a 3 to 5 year process, and it continues after that. You're still in the promo. You're thinking about your next film. Well, your first film will always come up. Oh, I saw what you did with your first film, and you somehow use that for your second film, and it just goes on and on and on. So it's not for the faint of heart. You have to be in it all the way through, and there's more lows than highs. Like a lot of times it's just a lot of no's, like Lisa says, a lot of lows. So you just have to take the highs when you can get them, and then hopefully move forward.
Right, and it comes back to the story again too. Do not pick a script that you can't stand, because you're going to live with it for a long time.
That's right.
Make sure you love it.
It's so true. Absolutely, that is a very, very good point. Absolutely.
Oh my gosh, thank you guys for coming on. This has been delightful.
Yeah, well, thank you for having us, Denise. It's so good to talk to you, and love talking to you, and thanks for having us too.
Yeah,
and you guys are great.
Thanks a lot, Denise. You've got your 16th annual Shriek Fest coming up, and I know that Peelers is in the 17th. Sorry, 17th is coming up. You had your Sweet 16 last year, where Peelers was in it,
that's right. I was at
Lisa
Sweet
had a
16,
chance to come down to the festival. So, good luck this year for number 17. I can't wait to hear when you hit 20 and 25. It's
oh gosh.
Awesome.
It's like the bad script sometimes. I get that feeling like, oh, am I really doing this again?
Oh yeah.
Not the filmmakers, but all the work leading up to it.
All the work. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot of
course.
And did you guys hear we're bi-coastal now?
Yeah, you are LA and you're in Florida. Whereabouts in Florida?
Orlando. I added an Orlando branch. Am I crazy or what? I'm from Orlando, so yeah.
That's fantastic. Congrats.
Yeah. Congrats.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Yeah.
All right, so make sure you guys send me anything you want posted, tweet to us, anything you need. I will help get the word out. You guys are awesome. And thank you again for coming on.
Thank you, Denise. You're awesome too.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate you letting us be on the show. Really, really fun. And good luck with all the acting as well. I see you're everywhere. I've seen you with Mel Gibson, Julie Louis-Dreyfus. You're everywhere. So keep it up.
Well, thank you. And thanks again. And I look forward to the next project and these DVDs and Blu-rays that are coming out.
Yeah.
Fun.
July 4th. Can't wait.
All right, you guys. You have a great rest of your night.
Okay.
Thanks, you too.
You bet. You too.
Take care.
Thank you. You
ciao.
too. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.
The views expressed here within the programs and chats do not necessarily represent the views of LiveParanormal.com.
All right, guys, show is over. We're about out of time. Thank you so much for listening in. Wonderful, wonderful show. I think you guys learned a lot from them. Fun people. Very talented. Check out their film, Peelers. It's a lot of fun. All right, guys, have a great one. See you back here next week. All right, good night.
This is Live Paranormal Radio, brought to you by LiveParanormal.com, the #1 interactive online community for everything.
Trust yourself to find your own path. Feel it, forge it, and follow it, wherever your soul takes you. Get there in style with Ford, the most trusted brand of SUVs, designing safe, innovative vehicles like the Ford Explorer and Escape for your journey of life. Always unstoppable. See your local Ford dealer today or visit buyfordnow.com.